Tired but victorious, the party made for the Lady Vengeance. The horrors of Fort Joy behind them. They arrived as sorcerers. They left as godwoken. The fate of this godforsaken world now rested on their shoulders. Or at least, on the shoulders of one of them.
Come, Quercus. Time is short.
Looking down at your robes, you see they're damp with blood and the ocean's spray. In the distance, Fort Joy looms.
Don't stand between a prince and his principles.
I'll be damned if I ever set foot on that island again. Don't care who I have to bury.
I've no sympathy for those who die in the line of duty. Onward now. The sooner Fort Joy disappears from the horizon, the...
Well, this is a fine sight. Utterly a floating nest, surrounded on all sides by salt water. Pure. Well, yes, of course we'll continue our research. Still, I must admit you were right about the. No. Yes. How does something so large and ungainly? You give the giants too much credit, Quercus. I think the salty air. It has certainly been useful, but elegant, kind. No, we have no time for your fawning. We may be safe, but the world is not. Come.
So close to escaping.
Don't go any further, Godwoken. We need you alive. The ship won't sail. We had orders to search every corner of it and figure out what's blocking us.
She glances over towards a smouldering pile of ash on the deck nearby.
That was Brendan. When the ship wouldn't answer my call, he touched the figurehead, and it attacked him, without warning. Just remember what I said, Godwoken. If you die, then this was all for nothing. Nothing. The ship is live wood, that much is clear.
Her eyes flick over to the smouldering...
Thank you. We were held captive together, on this ship. He kept my spirit.
Before you is a towering figurehead carved in the likeness of a dragon. It looms over the bow, its fangs bared at the open sea. At that moment, the ship serendipitously creaks beneath you, almost like it is acknowledging your observation. Searing pain races up your arm. The ship senses you. It's angry. The pain intensifies. It's spreading past your arm, across your throat.
Be careful around the figurehead.
I remember this one. His name was Kerbin. His friend's sword couldn't save him, it would appear.
Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Be careful around the figurehead, Godwoken. We can't afford to lose you. Hear my prayer. Show us the way forward. Deliver us from peril. Sandelia. Be careful around the figurehead, Godwoken. We can't afford to lose you.
Spare me, Gareth. We got what we came for. This...
I won't see them tossed overboard. Not here. We'll...
What's his face and so would want us to get this ship sailing before all else.
You know their names, Malady.
Gareth inhales sharply, then catches you up.
Our guest stirs. Welcome, Godwoken. Glad to see...
Our undead Godwoken. I had nearly forgotten.
Too many.
One too few, Alexander. He's alive. Apparently didn't hit...
He's in the hold below decks. Unconscious, but alive. Yes, we certainly had better, but the ship...
She's mute. We need to free her tongue.
You're welcome to try, though I doubt...
What Gareth means to say is don't bother. Livewood will only move when it wants to. That's right. The ship's made of an elven ancestor. What we need is a way to control the bloody thing.
The Seekers, the survivors of us, have been combing the
These Seekers have such a...
We lost a man in the search. Malady might not appreciate that, but...
I'm sure the Godwoken will be able to get the ship moving. They kind of like to feel useful, don't they?
It's your best, little... Void Slayer, Worm Killer, Godwoken. You have many names. Undead is a name I wasn't expecting to call you, mind. When Malady revealed the truth to me, I was unprepared. But Lucian works in Driftwood, of course. Little fishing village. Not very welcoming, but you'll brighten it up, I'm sure. Meister Siva's there too. She held the Seekers together when we had every reason to fall apart. Think of her as a teacher. The powers of the Seven stir in you. I won't let the fallen be forgotten. I'd be no better than Dallas, no better than Alexander. To think that whelp spawned from greatness. He deserves no better fate than his silent monks. He's down there now, guarded like some... Amazing to think those of us in the Order once assumed the gods were with him, and only him. That other Godwoken. When Lucian died, we waited, and waited some more. Alexander never rose to divinity. We weren't the only ones who noticed either. Not every Godwoken we found was... We found Godwoken, housed them, fed them. I loved them like family. But let's leave the past in the past and reach for what's ahead. She's not, well, not in the strictest sense. She's not exactly an elf either. Half demon, Meister Siva says. I don't know how Siva came to know her. But Malady's a proper ally. She's not easy to like, but there are times I admire her.
Gareth fingers the hilt of his blade.
Keep Lucian close, God.
Our survival hinges on getting this ship moving, Godwoken. We're
There you are. I was just thinking, this is Dallas's ship. But she can't have been the only one who could get it moving. There's a way to move this ship on board, I'm sure of it. You'd be surprised. A ship like this holds many The figurehead has certainly caused a commotion lately. But then again, so have the doors down. Naughty lizards. I wouldn't have taken that rune on the figurehead as a slave scar. We'll need to find the song that'll control it then. Well, you'll need to. Dying to hear them.
Malady smiles at you.
Well, you've eschewed your pretty little mask, haven't you? And besides, Meister Siva is one of a rare breed. She'd do anything in the name of a cause. And her cause happened. We'd better not leave her waiting. She's a bit particular. She's the founder of these Seekers, and she's powerful. Your kind can reach astounding heights. A place called Driftwood hosts to putrid fish, putrid dwarves. You'll probably find it quite comfortable.
What did I do to deserve that?
Trickery did the hammer use to control this thing?
You made it, Godwoken. Good.
We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters...
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... from the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work. Ready? We
The silent monk leans forward slightly. The silent monk leans from one foot...
Let's team up, you and me. What do you say?
He drags a comb through his...
Malady says if we can get the ship to move, we can go home.
All that fighting will be worth less than nothing if we can't get the...
There's something to these doors I'm not seeing. But what?
Hey! You're here! There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe...
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice it's unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. A face appears in the wood. Tortured and tormented, the face vanishes. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a pass.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every... So, what'll it be?
You keep saying that. It won't save you. Hey, don't I? So, we've got quite the task on our hands, haven't we? I have to admit, the whole thing is very intriguing. The old band back to... Look at me. hard.
Losa leans back slightly, thin arms crossed in front of her chest, and stares at you defiantly from dark eye sockets, darker and deeper set than when you first met. She blows back a lock of white hair, matted with sweat and grime, and holds back a smile from the corners of her lips.
Seriously? Look at me. I look like lukewarm death. I want to make sure you understand, well, the risks. You don't get it. I'm dangerous. You have to pay attention. Can you do that?
Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
Do I ever? Still sort. At the time, I wanted you to defend me. I didn't realize how bad things had gotten. I know better now. Something like that happens again, you do what needs to be done. Deal? Well, or...
She pinches your cheek.
I knew I could count on you to murder... Let's go, Chief. Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain Losa. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? Depends which one. Most of them seem a little too earnest for my... In any case, it looks like they're probably going to help me find out whatever's leeching off my... the same boat. Sure thing, Chief. What's up?
She bats her eyelashes coquettishly over black eyes.
Just for you, Chief. Okay. Look, I'm sorry, I just... Pretty nice ship, eh? Captain Loth, sure thing, Chief. What's up? One of the gods. What did they say?
Being behind bars suits you, murdering scum.
One of the gods said...
Losa huffs on her fingernails and buffs them on her tunic, smirking.
Nice.
Can't you say anything else? Bloody magisters.
Her face cracks into a mischievous smile. She capers around you.
You like me, you really, really...
She stops suddenly, goes rigid, then relaxes, smiles broadly, and leans...
Psst. I like you too. Pretty nice ship, eh? Sure thing, Chief. What's... You know, wherever the next road leads, I guess. How about you? You missing home by now? I get you. So, what is it you miss exactly? I guess that's tough. Maybe you'll find him again, after all this is over. Sure thing, Chief. What's up?
It's good to be on the open seas again. Set sail for Driftwood, I reckon. From there, we can track down my old pack and find out who's been... Yes, but if he's God-woken like us, maybe for now. The Lone Wolves were tasked with killing God-woken. So if we want to find out who's hunting us, we'll need to track down my old pack. It does, doesn't it? Me too. A god I don't believe in told me things about myself I don't believe. Yeah. Harder to maintain skepticism then, all right. Whatever we believe, we still need to live in the here and now. So, me too. Best damn
He whistles, and the shaggy wolf appears by his side, panting in that way that makes wolves look like they're laughing.
Afrid's no pet. He don't take... Afrid's been howling at my side a long time now. Good old boy appears anytime I use sword. If you'd seen that, you'd know to keep your fingers as far from his jaw.
Defan looks at you askance. Then he wipes tears from his eyes and stutters to speak, but he can't...
Oh, she was a fine one. She wrote that whole book to cover her tracks, so nobody would look for the missing gold anywhere near her.
And with that, he's laughing uncontrollably again, waving you...
Lonely? I wouldn't think so. I went from life in the regiment, to life in the pack, to life on the road with you.
He pauses, reddening slightly as he looks at you curious.
Unless, wait. What did you mean exactly? Ah, yes. Of course.
He grunts approvingly. side by side. The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding...
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
We're a big bloody target on our backs. We took their leader and their flagship. The Hammer won't stand for that. She'll be hunting for us.
The Seeker throws a toxic look at the...
Hardly. She's just some deckhand. If it were up to me, I'd tie her to the main mast and use her for arrow practice. But I wish. No, the Magisters kept me chained to the bulkhead. Arms held above me head, feet barely able to touch the deck. Now my joints have... No, they had us down below, chained up in the dark. Maybe it was just the lack of food and rest playing tricks. But I swear I heard chanting and... Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold. And the other one ain't in much... All right then, just... I'll keep an eye on the Red until the cage is locked again.
I've spotted something.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure.
I've got sword fighters, mages, archers, all willing to fight by your side if the price is right.
You keep saying that. It won't save you.
How you doing? You creatures with your legs and arms and your opposable thumbs. You always want to steer the ship. It goes... La 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 la. Or something like... Oh, she opened it and looked at the marks on the inside. All right, all right. Go to the nose bit of the ship. Open the book. Look at the markings inside it. Sing the song. That's always entertaining. For me, anyway.
Ah, there you are. High time to stop gallivanting and resume our journey together, wouldn't... Off we go. I could have sworn my helmet... Yes, by all means, let us partake in the art of combat. Why, sail for the mainland, of course. The sooner Fort Joy is but a blemish... Oh, don't tell me you've never heard the stories. The tale of my birth has been a bedtime staple for years. A dinner feud. But one day a red sun rose, turning the desert sands into a blood-colored sea. The sun rose to its zenith, but there settled, refused to descend towards the beckoning dusk. Indeed, I've been a married man since the day I was born, for they call me the spouse of the sun. Isn't it just?
He laughs wryly, baring rows of shark-like teeth.
There are those who... To tell you the truth, I've no idea why I'm red, but I do fancy I was rather lucky to be born a prince. My heritage made people celebrate my uniqueness. Had I been common-born, they might have just drowned. Why, thank you. You'll find I don't live up to expectations with Case in point is that I have a high opinion of myself because of my unparalleled skills and intellect, not because of the bed I was born in. Though I won't go so far as to deny absolute wealth has its perks. No wonder I seek my way back to the throne, more glorious than you could ever imagine. Ask me again once we escape, and I'll tell you tales that will last us 1,000 nights. Indeed. Rallick, if I'm not mistaken. Always was rather the slow sibling in the Pantheon, wasn't he? Of course I can, especially when they're beggars. Oh, don't look so astonished. I simply suspect we've had much the same experience. We met with our god, but I do wonder, can a god be called a god still if they have to plead with another to assume the powers they seem to have lost? Of course I did. Only I'm not foolish enough to let... Rather straightforward, isn't it? Some rule, some serve.
He rolls his eyes, sensing his answer didn't quite satisfy.
It's a custom as old as time. We conquered, established rule, and demonstrated our... Now the rules have relaxed somewhat. Slaves have simply become a commodity. Of course, there are some that struggle with accepting the... They are pinnacles of magic in their own subtle way. Works of art, really. Ah! Straight to the scholarship. Here's the beauty of the scar, see? It lives. All this can be achieved by means of music. He who knows the melody controls the slave. Whistle.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate. Enough!
A young Magister paces around the brig. She notices you observing her.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent. The Magister steps...
Magister Ranley, get away from him, sorcerer. All right. Don't harm him. I'll be watching.
Ifan grabs you by the sleeve, not hard.
Let me work on him. I've got questions that need answers. Answers I can only get from him.
Ifan approaches Alexander, who lies flat on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, Ifan grabs him by the jaw and shakes, violently. Alexander's face contorts with agony and is...
Why did you trigger the death fog before the elves had a chance to...
No matter how loud Ifan shouts his questions, there is no response from the unconscious Alexander. He reaches his arm back, and you realize he intends to punch Alexander in the face. As if waking from a dream, he turns to you, disoriented. Hesitantly, he drops his fist until it hangs...
You're right there.
With a nod, Ifan... Bishop Alexander lies, bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his... A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an... The gem sits heavily in your pouch. The Seeker has removed one of her gauntlets in order to...
You must be starved. Don't worry. You and I...
Expert warrior.
I ought to chain you up like your lot did to me.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance.
The door seems like any door, at least the wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear the face vanishes. The anguished face appears, then...
No entry allowed through the starboard stateroom door.
The door is still unmarked, though the memory of the anguished face... The door is still unmarked, though the memory of the face... The thud of your fist upon the wood resonates deeper than you'd expected it to. It turns into what sounds like... The door is still unmarked, though the memory of the face and its six-sided notch remains with you. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and... waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of us...
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
An undead, eh? But beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Especially when it comes to their rescuers. To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if that infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape? It seems I'm in your debt. Dallas took a particular interest in me and my skills. She kept me here to do her bidding. Until you took her flagship from right under her nose, it seems. Oh, yes. And she could be a most...
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath,
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Oh, cast spells, tinker with relics, meddle with the laws of nature. All the sorts of things power-hungry despots love.
He clicks the gauntlet into place around his width.
That damn contraption that she used on me seems to have fogged my memory. The rest is a blur. Trust me. Convenient is the last word I'd use to describe the experience. Pass me that copper wire there, would you?
An unseen force yanks the copper out of your grasp.
Butterfingers? I'm afraid I truly can't remember anything. Now, unless there's something else you want, I need to get... I'm doing my utmost to be civil to you, under rather trying circumstances. Why must you push me like that? You're painting me into a corner here, friend. And I don't...
The Seekers are too trusting by half. We can't just let this...
Something tells me that he'll only bring us woe, but I can't judge him, yet.
If this one was enslaved by Dallas, then he could still be under her thrall. We can't risk keeping him around.
He takes your hand in his gauntlet-clad fist and shakes it. There's a lot more power in his grip than his slender friend.
Call me Tarquin, and consider me at your service. We're barely acquainted. Why should I tell you anything personal? A fine sentiment, but I have nothing revelatory for you. I am as you... I see no cause for alarm. I'm not some uneducated simpleton, you know. There's likely not a soul aboard this ship without secrets they'd rather keep hidden. Why should I face more scrutiny than the rest? Well, pardon me if I don't put too much stock in your feelings. Knowledge, facts, I must admit, despite what she did to me, I can't help but admire her a little. So if you should cross paths again, be sure to leave her broken. No, this piece is far beyond what those wretches could muster. The Magisters left me weakened, but this will...
This looks like a teleporter pyramid. It could certainly come in handy.
Only one way to find out. Try using it.
This is written in ancient lizard script. It appears to be a song.
What's this? I found something.
sense, doesn't it?
Right where I want you.
I'm ready.
Healing!
Guards or victims?
Both, I fear. Another pyramid.
My tail rattles. I suffer. Don't touch me. It was Tarquin, that wretch, that rat. I ate an ill mouse. Me miserable. Mumsy? Is she here? Mumsy, where are you? 'Tis I, Booply Bear. I am quite changed. Fie! Hear this feline's lament, O immortal gods, I am so wretched. And what is a Booply Bear without her sweet Mumsy? Fie! Me miserable. No, 'tis ignoble to wish for death, but ask it from another. Mumsy? There is no shame in being ridiculous in the you. She sent you.
The cat begins to purr and rub it.
Any friend to Mumsy is a friend to me. The song, of course.
The cat purrs, an eerie clicking.
Tell Mumsy to come back soon. Now that I am but bone, I'm too light to
Oh, Quirkus, don't be like that. I was looking at his bone structure for academic purposes. There's nothing to be jealous of, honestly.
I've spotted something.
you after?
You saw what I could not.
I won't be able to breathe easy until...
There must be something around. Our entire mission will have been for nothing if we don't escape from here. We have to get this ship moving!
Be careful around the figurehead. Be careful around the figurehead, Godwoken. We can't afford to lose you.
The figurehead looms ahead, continuing its silent watch over the sea. The deck beneath you groans and trembles, like the ship itself is awaking from a slumber. A deep sigh emerges, unmistakably the sound of a living being.
You are not the witch. You sang the song. Now you must decide my fate. Are you to be my new master? You are kind, but I can never be free again. Not truly. I am a vessel and must be guided. Ask. I am here to serve in all ways.
The creaking of the ship eases into a contemplative silence.
Once, I was an elf. I passed away and was reborn as an ancestor, but that time has passed. I saw that forest reduced to an...
The sails overhead billow outwards suddenly. The
Magisters, they raised sacred... They tore me apart and turned me into this monstrosity. Of course, wherever there is sea, I will endeavor to bring you.
The ship's awake. Good. Is she ready to sail? Dying to hear them.
We have to put this island behind us.
Her face crumples into a...
Why? Because I care, of course. A bit early in our relationship to question my motives, don't you think? Well, what?
A slow, tooth
to driftwood, then. It most certainly is. Forward!
With the sun on their backs and the wind in their sails, the Godwoken watched Fort Joy shrink behind them. But their capture of the Lady Vengeance had not gone unnoticed.